Tonight, we turn to western Colorado, where the Lee Fire has erupted into one of the largest wildfires in state history. Fueled by relentless winds and bone-dry conditions, the fire has forced evacuations across 2 counties, threatening the town of Meeker and vital infrastructure. Its rapid, unpredictable growth has tested emergency responders and left communities facing deep uncertainty. The Lee Fire is a stark reminder of the escalating intensity of wildfires in the American West. As of August 10, 2025, the focus remains on protecting lives and hoping for a break in the weather to halt this historic blaze. The Lee Fire's origin can be traced back to a single powerful lightning strike. It was a strike that ignited dry vegetation in a remote area, sparking what would soon become a major wildfire event. The initial blaze quickly grew, and under the influence of strong winds, it began to spread rapidly, soon merging with the nearby Elk Fire. This convergence created a much larger and more complex fire front. This all unfolded in Colorado's parched backcountry, a landscape already vulnerable due to prolonged drought and high temperatures. The stage was set for explosive fire behavior. Unusually dry weather, characterized by record-low rainfall and persistent heat waves, combined with powerful winds to create ideal conditions for rapid fire spread. These factors turned what started as small, isolated blazes into a single, fast-moving inferno, consuming everything in its path with alarming speed. In just one day, fueled by the intense conditions, the fire exploded, expanding by over 8,000 acres, a testament to its destructive potential. And under red flag conditions with warnings of extreme fire weather in effect, it doubled again, pushing the limits of what firefighters could effectively control. The rapidly advancing flames soon posed a direct threat, threatening Highway 13, a critical transportation artery in the region. As the fire drew closer, authorities issued warnings, forcing residents in nearby communities to prepare for potential evacuation, packing emergency bags and making difficult decisions about what to leave behind. A sudden and somewhat fortunate wind shift spared the town of Meeker from the immediate threat of the flames. However, this shift sent the fire racing south, pushing it further into Garfield County and creating new challenges for fire crews. The fire continued its relentless expansion, growing by nearly 30,000 acres overnight, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake and underscoring the sheer scale of the disaster. The combination of abundant dry fuels accumulated over years of drought provided ample material for the fire to consume. The steep terrain further complicated firefighting efforts, making it difficult to access and contain the blaze. And erratic winds, shifting in unpredictable directions, made it nearly impossible to anticipate the fire's next move. This confluence of factors, dry fuels, steep terrain, and erratic winds, created a perfect storm, a recipe for extreme fire behavior. The intensity of the fire and the speed of its spread quickly overwhelmed containment efforts, pushing firefighters to their limits. Firefighters found themselves increasingly in a defensive battle, focused on protecting structures and communities in the path of the flames. The fire's explosive growth transformed what began as a manageable incident into a large-scale emergency, demanding resources from across the region. The Lee Fire quickly escalated into a regional crisis, impacting communities, economies, and the environment. The Lee Fire's story serves as a sobering lesson, a stark reminder of the destructive power of wildfires. It highlights how quickly wildfires can escalate and the devastating consequences that can occur when extreme fire conditions align against us, demanding constant vigilance and proactive mitigation strategies. The Lee Fire's intensity has been so extreme, it's created its own weather. As flames roared through the landscape, the heat generated massive pyrocumulus clouds, towering columns of smoke and moisture reaching 30,000 feet, the altitude of commercial jets. These clouds generate powerful, unpredictable winds that feed the fire, making it even harder to control. The result is a dangerous feedback loop. The fire creates winds, the winds fuel the fire, and standard weather forecasts become unreliable. For firefighters, this means battling not just flames, but a chaotic atmosphere that can change in an instant. The presence of these clouds signals a wildfire of rare and terrifying intensity. As the Lee Fire surged with unexpected ferocity, fueled by dry conditions and strong winds, the entire town of Meeker, nestled in the heart of Colorado, was placed on pre-evacuation notice. The air grew thick with smoke, casting an eerie orange glow over the landscape, signaling the imminent threat. With residents told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice, a sense of urgency filled the streets. Families scrambled to gather essential belongings, knowing they might be forced to abandon their homes. A shift in wind direction brought temporary relief to some areas, pushing the smoke away and offering a brief respite from the immediate danger. But the fire's unpredictable nature meant that this reprieve was short-lived, and the fire's new path forced urgent evacuations in Rio Blanco and Garfield counties, expanding the zone of impact. Areas once considered safe, far from the initial fire line, were suddenly in danger, as the flames jumped across natural barriers. As the situation rapidly deteriorated, mandatory evacuation orders were issued overnight, forcing more residents to flee their homes in the dead of night. In a rare move, highlighting the severity of the situation, the Rifle Correctional Center was evacuated. Authorities undertook the complex task of relocating 179 inmates to secure facilities as the fire advanced, posing a direct threat to the prison. The Lee Fire's reach has disrupted not only homes but also businesses, crippling the local economy and leaving many livelihoods in jeopardy. The impact extended beyond private property, affecting even state institutions and critical infrastructure. For many, facing the encroaching flames, the only option was to leave everything behind, their lives reduced to what they could carry. They could only look back at the smoke-filled sky and hope for the best, placing their faith in the efforts of the firefighters and emergency responders. The priority remains clear: protect lives above all else, ensuring the safety and well-being of all those affected by this devastating wildfire. The numbers behind the Lee Fire are staggering. By Saturday afternoon, it had burned over 92,000 acres, an area larger than Denver, making it the 6th largest wildfire in Colorado history. Even more alarming, the fire remains at 0% containment, with no secure perimeter in place. More than 1,200 personnel have been mobilized, including firefighters, support staff, and emergency managers from across the country. The fire's explosive growth, over 30,000 acres in just 24 hours, triggered new evacuations and emergency measures. These statistics reveal the scale and danger of the crisis facing western Colorado. The fight is far from over. Facing a disaster of this magnitude, Colorado's response has been swift and unified. Governor Jared Polis mobilized the National Guard, providing critical support for firefighting, logistics, and evacuations. Local, state, and federal agencies have joined forces, with incident management teams coordinating strategies and resources. The evacuation of the Rifle Correctional Center required careful planning between corrections officials, law enforcement, and fire managers. This multi-agency effort is essential for managing a crisis that spans counties and threatens entire communities. The state's united front is a testament to the seriousness of the threat. Every available resource is being brought to bear against the Lee Fire. Tonight, the Lee Fire continues its relentless spread, remaining stubbornly uncontained despite all efforts. The situation is critical, and the brave men and women on the front lines are working tirelessly. Its future is precariously shaped by unpredictable weather patterns and relentless winds that fan the flames, pushing the fire in erratic directions. These conditions make containment incredibly difficult. Over 92,000 acres have already been consumed by the inferno, a staggering testament to the fire's destructive power. The scale of the devastation is immense, and more than 1,000 dedicated responders, including firefighters and support personnel, are still battling the blaze around the clock, facing immense challenges and risks. Residents in affected areas must remain vigilant and prepared, closely monitoring official updates and heeding warnings from authorities. Ready to evacuate at a moment's notice if conditions change, ensuring the safety of themselves and their families is paramount. Time is of the essence in these situations. The coordinated response, a unified effort from the National Guard, federal agencies, and local firefighters, shows the unwavering determination to protect lives, homes, and property from the relentless advance of the flames. Every effort is being made to minimize the damage. The community's role is absolutely crucial in providing support and assistance to those affected by the fire. Follow evacuation orders promptly, support one another through these difficult times, and stay informed through official channels for the latest updates and guidance. The Lee Fire serves as a powerful and sobering reminder of nature's raw and untamed force, and the growing challenge of managing and mitigating wildfires in the face of a rapidly changing climate, a challenge that demands our immediate attention. For now, the safety of residents and heightened awareness are the top priorities for everyone involved. as Colorado faces what is already being recognized as one of its most devastating and historic wildfires in recent memory.